Welcome to the new moon in Capricorn reading for December 30th, 2024. The new moon is occurring tomorrow, December 30th at 2:26 Pacific Standard Time. I am not quite sure how we've already reached the end of 2024. It has been really chaotic, but the good news is Capricorn brings in some structure and help with building structure that we can implement for 2025 to mitigate some of the topsy-turvy energy. Something that's really special about this new moon and why it's referred to as a black moon is that it is the second new moon to occur in one calendar month. So it's a pretty auspicious timing in terms of the end of the year and thinking of New Year's resolutions. Black moon can sound a little bit intense, but something that people forget about a new moon is that it's when the moon is actually the darkest, and it's when we're planting, it's when we're renewing. Full moon, we've bloomed and the flowers fall, and then the new moon is more about almost the death phase of things, letting things end so that new things can be born, and thinking about what it is that you want to create. Despite the name Black Moon, this is actually a really amazing time to manifest. Before we dive into the new moon in Capricorn reading, just take a moment to sit down, make yourself comfortable, maybe go make yourself a cup of tea, grab a journal, and settle in. So we know that new moons are always about new beginnings, but depending on the sign that the new moon is occurring in, there are different ways to manifest, or different ways that are more potent than other ways in order to manifest. A new moon in Capricorn is especially good for thinking long term. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's the planet of karma. So this isn't just shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon and maybe you'll land among the stars. This is build the ladder to get to the moon if that's where you want to go. Capricorn energy is very much about thinking in terms of what is a sustainable habit that you can and will maintain in order to achieve a greater or grander goal. So let's talk about some themes. Capricorn rules the bones, teeth, skin, our structure, our literal skeletal structure. It's also about discipline, karma, long-term consequences. It can be about burnout. It can also be about, Capricorn is also about longevity. It's the energy that governs corporations, big banks, basically anything that is built to last. So that is why you have to think of it in terms of yourself as well, and in terms of goals that get you to the finish line, as in the end of your life. So with Capricorn ruling the skeletal system and our teeth, a lot of the focus might and should be on health. Things that you've been putting off with your health, especially that pertain to your skin, teeth, and bones, need to be looked into. Capricorn new moons are also really great for starting new health routines. So if you've been thinking about how you need to implement physical health and stamina or endurance in your life, this is a really good time to start that. One of the things that I always notice is that my physical health is yes, of course, it's indicative of my literal physical health, but it's also reflective of my mental health in terms of what I'm focusing on. If I'm doing things that focus on endurance, then I do find that my mind is more capable of enduring other challenging things. So in terms of the new moon in Capricorn, you really want to focus on what is holding you back, what is perhaps shortening. So anything you've been putting off, i.e. dentist appointments, this is a really good time to do that. It's also a good time to implement tiny things that you can maintain, like moisturizing every day, which also coexists with winter, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's a good one to add to the list anyway. So like we said, Capricorn is all about longevity. So we want to focus on really big goals so that we can then break it down into a smaller plan. So the question you want to ask yourself is, what sustainable routines can I create to support my goals? I also think it's really important to make this something joyful. So when you are thinking of these goals and thinking of the thing that you will have to do every day in order to get there, make sure that it's something that you enjoy or at least can endure. So if it's something that you're not going to like very much, like sitting down to write or running or cleaning or lifting, make it incremental. Make the goals a little bit smaller so that you can tackle it consistently, but in a way that remains joyful to you. So now let's talk ritual. This one is, I think, very fun and a bit introspective. It's a bit serious like Capricorn, and it's very, very goal oriented like Capricorn. Capricorns are also known to cut the fluff, and this was a meditation that came to me when I sat down to channel right before recording, and I think it's actually really playful and cool. First things first, you're going to grab a notebook. This is actually my gratitude journal that is available on my website. Okay, so you're going to grab a piece of paper and write down 10 things that you really, really want. And because we're focusing on a new moon in Capricorn, we're talking about long-term goals that you deeply desire, but that require a lot of discipline on your behalf. So these are long-term health, career, financial, relationship, and spiritual goals. If necessary, pause and really think and reflect on what these goals are. The main point is that if you were to choose any one of those goals out of a hat, you shouldn't be disappointed. No matter which one you pull out, you should be happy about that one. Because if you write down 10 things and 3 of them you don't really want, but you couldn't think of anything else, then when we eliminate the goal down to 1, I don't want you to be stuck with something that you're not that crazy about or that you won't feel very much motivation to work towards. So make sure these are 10 things that you deeply desire. And can't think of 10 things, write down as many things as you can that you are very passionate about or equally passionate about. Okay, now think of a number between 1 and 10 right now. That's your number. Okay, so the number that came to me just now was 4. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Eliminate that goal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I'm left with goal 9. And whatever goal 9 is the thing that I'm going to focus on exclusively for the next 6 months, just as it relates to the new moon in Capricorn. So you may be wondering why this process, and I actually think it's really cool because Capricorn is so myopic about what they want to accomplish, and the suggestion of this that I was getting as I was channeling this meditation or this ritual was that the goal that you're left with is the one that is going to be the most helpful for you to focus on in order to trickle down into the rest of your goals. So it's not that you're saying, okay, forget these other 9. You're saying, okay, I'm going to structure a plan around this goal so that if I can really focus on that and throw myself into that, I trust that the rest of these will benefit from me focusing on this and will therefore come to pass. For example, the goal that you end up with might be write a book. So now you're going to sit down for 15 minutes every day to write. And in writing, you might enter a flow state of creativity, which then clues you into how you want to help another goal, which might have been build a following on social media. And you might start coming up with scripts and content from that. And in creating that content, maybe then you meet somebody that leads you to goal 1, which was to get into a relationship. You see what I mean? Capricorn mentality is to focus with tunnel vision on something and then allow it to leak into the rest of your life. Leak is not flow into the rest of your life. So once you've written down your 10 goals, gotten it down to one, now we're left with kind of a messy sheet of paper, which for a new moon in Capricorn is not really the vibe. So I want you to get a fresh piece of paper, and then you're going to write down that one goal on that fresh piece of paper, and then you're going to meditate and think about some affirmations that will help you get there. If you can't think of daily affirmations, you can always go to my Instagram. I'll have New Moon and Capricorn affirmations there. I'll also probably post them on my Patreon, and you can also always reach out to me at yam.hinduitive@gmail.com if you need a little bit more help or guidance with either affirmations or a reading. Once you've chosen your one goal, you can write that down on a fresh piece of paper, meditate, think of your affirmations, and then think of the one thing that you can do every single day to get there. So let's say that the goal that you chose was to write a book, and now you've decided that it's to sit down and write for 15 minutes a day. So you might do something like, I'm going to commit to that for the first 30 days and add something else, like a sub goal in that might be read a new book this month or publish one Substack article. You want to think about how you can add things in slowly so that you can achieve this long-term goal. And you'll notice that when you become really disciplined, even in one area of your life, it does naturally flow into the other areas of your life. And Capricorn is very much about building, right? We're talking structure. So we're talking from the earth to the sky. This is like from your root chakra to your crown chakra. You're thinking about what you need to implement foundationally to accomplish this big thing. That is the info on the new moon in Capricorn, along with a little ritual for you to do. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think. I know that things are chaotic, but the best way that we can deal with it is to build internal structure and discipline, because things will continue to be chaotic. 2025 is going to be a bit of a topsy-turvy year, which is why I decided to make all of the content on my Patreon free, which you can join at your leisure. You can either be a free member and have access to all the content, or you can choose the donation tier of $4.44 a month. Another helpful thing to do would be to just subscribe to this YouTube channel and keep up with my content. I am just trying to focus on building community in 2025 and providing as much comfort as I can. We're in a really powerful time for reflection and planning, and I think most importantly, we're in a really important time for belief. And Capricorn is this truth teller and also a naysayer, somebody that doesn't really see very much magic in things, which is why it's very productive, but it's not necessarily optimistic. I think the most important element of this is to take it one step at a time. And the most important element to keep in mind as you're manifesting around the new moon in Capricorn is that everything happens one step at a time, 1 second at a time, one breath at a time. If you need more guidance, please reach out for a reading or stay tuned for more information as we conquer full and new moons all year. Thank you for being here. I am wishing you a very, very happy new year in Capricorn. I know things are hard out there and it can be a little stressful, but above all, let's just do our best. Bye.